And other places around the world. Unfortunately today, the kind of climate changes we've had similar situations in other countries like the Philippines, etc. We are committed to communities around the world where we work, and we do the best we can in terms of supporting in any way we can when it comes to unfortunate situations like this, whether it's in the form of allowing free transfers or extra foreign exchange rates, etc. Simply because we feel that getting money across thousands of miles away, particularly during times of crisis, is an important service we can provide, because what people need in and around those times is financial support to be able to restart and revive economic activity.
Inside, we have our agent network where customer can go and deposit their cash for sending the money transfer to India. So on the same side, we definitely have the locations where customer can go and deposit the cash, and we also have the online channel, which is right now in North America and recently launched in UK, Europe. So that is the question, right? We can
my question is, you said there is a pickup for liquid cash too, and transferring to
yes. In India, yes, we offer both the products. For customer can go and visit any of our location. Our network in India includes the likes of Punjab National Bank and Federal Bank, Muthoot, Manappuram, Koshammattam, all these non-banking finance companies, and all these single agents, some of the travel agents, some of the securities and investment shops. So yes, customer can go and visit any of our authorized locations. They have a secret code number. They need to give a code number along with their ID as per the Reserve Bank of India guidelines. And our system is installed in all these cash pickup locations in India, and then they will get the money, which is actually exactly printed on the receipt. And as we say that there are no back-end charges, there are no hidden charges. So the amount which is printed on the receipt is the same amount which our sender see, and the receiver also gets a complete amount.
What measures are you taking on transfer of this Hawala and terrorist money being routed through? So
it's a very good question. Transfast, we have our own compliance inbuilt system. We have our own compliance team. We don't do any outsourcing job in a compliance section very particularly. Each and every transaction is scrutinized and filtered through different lists, whether it is OFAC or any other list available in different countries, and we have the whole machinery working as a compliance tool to scrutinize each and every single transaction. In case of any transaction which goes on a hold because of certain reasons, our send agent or our send business partner gets the information, and we ask for further information on the documents. Unless and until our compliance department is satisfied with the record and the document, no transaction comes to India. As you know, in cash pickup in India, Reserve Bank of India has got some rules. No transaction will be sent to India more than $2,500 equivalent amount. In that also, only 50,000 Indian rupees can be paid in cash. So if you have a transaction more than 50,000 rupees, our system will not allow the transaction to be paid in cash. You need to mention the check number, and you need to mention the account pay check, and our accounting department verifies whether the account pay check was given to that customer or not. In addition to that, there was also one more rule which says that any single receiver in India should not get more than 30 transactions in a calendar year, 30. Earlier it was like 12 transactions in a calendar year, but now recently RBI has increased the number of transactions, so it is 30 transactions. So what we do, all these rules are inbuilt into our system, and if any receiver getting a 31st transaction, irrespective from any of our channel, so nobody can circumvent our compliance system, whether it is online coming or it is coming from any of our agent network, or if they change the sending agent location also. 31st transaction will be blocked then and there itself in the system. So when the receiver is getting the money here, or when our agents are making a payout, they are 100% confident and they don't get any 31st transaction in the system.
The one thing I would add, sort of from a global perspective as a company, we're in 120 countries. Our network sort of operates in those countries. We're licensed in over 70 jurisdictions. So at any given point in time, we're dealing with a regulator in one part of the world or another. So compliance is actually, philosophically speaking, at the core of what we do, not rather some sideshow. Now, as a result, literally every transfer that we originate around the world, and we originate transfers starting in Southeast Asia and ending up on the west coast of the United States, every transfer is actually screened against the appropriate list on the origination side and any requirements that might actually be in place on the receive side, as in the example that Samir just gave. So we sort of comply with, and our people, the processes, the systems are designed to actually comply with compliance requirements in each origination geography, disbursement geography. So whether it's an OFAC list or an Interpol list, you name it. The idea is to sort of scrub every transaction against these lists to make sure that we are sort of keeping bad guys out of the system. So that's sort of integral to what we do as a company.
Add one couple of lines to what our CEO said. In India, we are registered under RBI, so there is a periodical reporting going to RBI. We are also registered under FIU. We are also registered under all the central banks where we are operating from. We submit reports to central bank wherever it is required. And I'm so happy to mention that till date, due to our strong compliance policies and processes, we have always received a very positive feedback from the regulators. So now coming to your question about the charges. Charges are different in different countries. It's not a specific percent of a cent amount. As you know that different country has got a different charge structure depending on the currency levels also. And online also we have a different charge structure, because in online above a certain limit we give a free of the cost transaction. So nobody, customer don't need to pay any charges when they are sending a transaction through online. But charges goes by the, I would say, the local markets, the local competition, the local, maybe some promotions or some kind of a typical festival season also. But charges, I can say definitely our charges are competitive. We are not charging any premium to customers. Our charges are not higher than the competition. And yes, I can confidently say that our foreign exchange rate is always better than the competition what they are giving, and that's actually the key part. Because if you look at the average transaction coming to India, which is in the cash business, which is in the range of 25 to 30,000 rupees. So more than charges, people always try to calculate the foreign exchange rate. Any 2, 3, 4 points difference in a foreign exchange rate gives them a better benefit in India, which turns out to be like 100, 500, 700 rupees here. See, there are no charges. It's all 100% amount. As I mentioned, when somebody sends a transaction, they get a receipt from our system. And that receipt mentions what is the amount sent by the sender, what is the receive amount in Indian rupees. That exact amount is also paid to the customer here in India, and customer also gets a receipt from our system which mentions what exactly amount customer has received here. So there are no back-end charges, there are no deductions, absolutely 100% amount customer gets in India. In India right now there is a little bit of issue on this data by maybe a company or by probably a source. Well, RBI is publishing a data, or the World Bank is giving a data of how many billions of dollars coming to India. It's not clear exactly rather how much is it from a bank deposit, how much is coming from a cash sector. Whereas in some of the other countries, a place like maybe Bangladesh or Philippines, where central bank has taken that step and given the complete data with the bifurcation of cash and the bank. So it's difficult to determine exactly what the data we have. But second part of your question, considering that India is of course growing, there is always a trend of growth in the inward remittances, and it continues to grow from 71 billion onwards. Our success story is the Philippines. What we have done in Philippines in 4-5 years is we have taken 8% market share of the total inward remittances from globe to Philippines. We have taken a 8% market share, and recently World Bank has also recognized Transfast, and they mentioned in one of their articles that Transfast is the most economical service provider in Philippines, and that brings us to top 2 or 3 players in Philippines. So we plan to do the same activity here, and we are on the right track to achieve probably 8 to 10% in next probably 18 to 24 months, and that will bring us to the top 2 or 3 companies in India. Sorry?
How different are you from other service providers?
On the same side, as we mentioned, that we are not only promoting or focusing any single product, we are giving the option to customer to select whether they want to send a bank deposit or a cash pickup. That's very important because customers do need options. Customers need to have the bank deposit and the cash pickup facility. That also is helping the banks here, that is also helping the government, because typically when you send a cash pickup transaction, whether it is a bank or any location, they just have to pay out the money. They don't retain any money. But in a bank deposit transaction, there is a balance retained into the account, because it's very rare that somebody will withdraw 100% amount on a day one. So first, our differentiation is we offer both the product. We are not only focusing or promoting a single product. Second is, again, we are the only company who is giving all these options to a customer to choose from. We are not necessarily forcing a customer to withdraw the cash from a bank and then go and find out our location and stand in a queue to send the money. Either they can do that activity where they can go and send the money from our exchange or the agent location, or they can do it from their desktop computer, or they can do it from their mobile app. Not only that, in that also we have taken kind of a lead in providing more facilities. They can send the money by their bank account getting debited from our system, or they can send the money by giving the debit card number or a credit card number. So we are the only one rather who's doing it. In that also, we have also given them an option, as our CEO has shown in one of that presentation. Because every person has got a different needs, and somehow most of the Indians staying abroad, they find themselves expert into foreign exchange. They like to look at the foreign exchange rate every day. Everybody has got some application on their phone to check the INR rate, where it is moving. So if somebody is not in a real hurry, they can choose our product, which is a 3-day product. Somebody is in a real hurry, somebody is in a real urgency, they can choose the fast track product, which can come to India same time immediately. So these are some of the advantages, and these are, I think, some of the uniqueness we bring it to the customer. And equally on the receive side, we have taken the lead, and we have done all the groundwork which is required to be provided to customer as a high quality service. Because we are the first company who started this instant bank deposit in August 2014 when IMPS launched in India. And today there are 21 banks in India connected with the IMPS, where we send the money instantly 24/7, 365 days. And of course RTGS NEFT is also available. So these are some of the features I would say definitely are far more superior than the competition, and definitely we are the one who's offering it right now.
Let me just make one point, and I'll come back in 1 second, about kind of being unique. So today, we're the only company in the entire industry to actually offer both instant bank and cash payouts using your bank account from the United States. There's not a single company that actually offers both bank and cash instant payouts using a bank account. Because remember, when you send money from your bank account in the United States, the funds actually don't reach us for several days. So to make an instant decision on whether or not you are who you say you are and wait for your funds requires a lot of work in the background that is not sort of apparent to the sender. So we've invested in technologies and systems and processes, security, etc., to be able to make that decision, not seeing you in person, and make that decision in real time. So I think that's a very important differentiator between Transfast and the others. The one other point I'd make in terms of innovation, Samir mentioned we were the first to launch instant IMPS in India, but that history goes back even further. I mean, we were the first in the entire industry, the entire cross-border funds transfer industry, to launch instant bank deposits in the Philippines as early as 2009. So the idea really is to sort of consistently push the envelope and provide customer with a level of convenience and service that's unmatched in the marketplace.
71 to 72 billion. Whose figure is this?
So that's a World Bank number. Yeah.
And how would you be achieving this? What is your current percentage?
Well, so I think as Samir mentioned, as a private company today, we don't sort of disclose these numbers, but the goal certainly is we're growing at sort of very high rates, and
So it sounds ridiculous without any number now. How can you say that the goal is to be 8 to 10%?
Sure, yeah, I'll share that with you. So our growth rates today are triple-digit growth rates off of a very large base, and I think if you kind of look at the product offering, you look at our network, which is unmatched in the industry. So on the back of triple-digit rates, on the back of the fact that we're one of the only companies, again, to have a global origination network that covers over 90% of the sender population in the world. So let me kind of break it down in a second. If you look at the $71 billion number, 50% of that comes from the Middle East. That 50% is about $36 billion, $36 billion. We have the largest network today in the Middle East, and as Samir mentioned earlier, we recently signed Bank Al Bilad, which is the largest player in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to send transfers to India. Right? So that gives us the largest footprint and network to address 50% of the market. Then you come to North America. North America again sort of accounts for roughly additional 30 to 35% of the remaining market. And we've got a very large network, number one, throughout the United States, throughout Canada. We're licensed in all the key states where all these transfers originate. We've got a model where they can send money in person, in cash, so we have that network. They can send money online or using their mobile app, which again, we're one of the few companies to have both an online and an offline presence, i.e. an omni-channel. That gives us almost 100% coverage of the origination market in North America. So that too brings us to sort of an 80% addressable market from an origination standpoint. The third geography where the remaining sort of 50 to 80% of funds originate are in Europe, and we've got a licensed footprint throughout the European Union. We're headquartered in the United Kingdom, and that allows us again to sort of originate remittances coming to India. So from a footprint standpoint, and looking at our sort of current volumes and the growth rates, we've sort of extrapolated where we think we can be over the next 3 to 4 years. Now, this is not something that we haven't done before. We've already done it before, and we've done it not just in the Philippines, but in a number of other countries. Today, we send billions around the world, and we've done that by by executing the strategy that we're currently executing in India. But the strategy can't succeed unless and until you have a network both on the send side and a network on the unique side that is product and funding agnostic. What I mean by that is, you want to send cash, you can send cash to us. You want to send to an account, you can send to an account to us. You want to pay by cash to send cash or an account, you can do that. You want to pay by using your debit, credit, or bank account, you can do that. Having all those options combined with the network and in-house treasury, etc., is what has enabled us to get to where we are in other markets, and which is what we think we can accomplish in India.
It's a good news for everybody. Very specifically in 2015, Reserve Bank of India started some in fact they have taken some initiative of knowing more data. I think sooner than later they will come up with some kind of a more in detail bifurcation of the figures. What is a bank, what is a cash? Because I think till 2014 Reserve Bank of India also was not getting that very specific data on the different product or different companies or different channels. But from starting 1st January 2015, they are requesting some more data. They have created some MIS department. So that I think will give us all the data what is required for it.
I mean, it's certainly one of the top 5 for us as a company, Tamil Nadu as a state.